Today on Dr. Phil.
I admitted to having an affair. There was no sex in our marriage. She just kept pushing me away.
So this is her fault?
Primarily, yes.
It's her fault that you went outside the marriage.
That's correct.
A marriage with serious problems.
What it's come down to is me or his girlfriend.
Why are you waiting for him to decide what's going to happen in your life?
And a mistress
The person I'm having the affair with
something extra.
is a transgender woman.
It's disgusting to me.
Now,
It's an abomination. It's not natural.
a wife faces her husband's lover.
You don't know me. You don't know me.
I don't want to, sweetheart. I don't want to.
We've never had a love triangle quite like this. Let's do it. If we're going to do something here that matters, then we got to deal with the truth.
Have a good show, everybody. Here we go.
If I can help get this family back on track, are you willing to do that?
Pretty free. Take it.
This is going to be a changing day in your life. We've done a lot of love triangles, and infidelity is a hot button topic. It has been on this show because it is in this country. We deal with what the viewers write to us about. But in all of my time doing this show, we've never had a love triangle quite like the one we have today. Now, Tracy and Doug have been married 23 years. They were high school sweethearts. They have a beautiful family. They have respectable jobs. He's a cab driver in New York. She's a legal assistant for a big law firm. Like all couples, Tracy and Doug have had their fair share of ups and downs. What's happening now is most unusual. Take a look.
Doug and I have known each other since we've been teenagers. When I first met Doug, he seemed like he was the one.
Tracy was my world from the get-go.
The room lit up when he walked into it. After being married for 15 years, we started to actually have problems.
There was no sex in our marriage.
About a year ago, I found a text message that said, "Calm down, Dougie Bear. I still love you." I confronted him, and I actually said, "What the is this?"
I admitted to having an affair.
It was very devastating.
There's more to the story than just having an affair. The person I'm having the affair with is a transgender woman. I'm very much in love with her.
It's disgusting to me. It's upsetting. It's disgusting.
My girlfriend, Essence, was born a man but identifies herself as a woman. Tracy was very upset when she found out I was seeing a transgender woman.
Horrified's a good word to use. How else can you describe something like that? It's bad enough if he was having an affair with a girl next door, but it's like an abomination. It's not natural in my world. It's absolutely not.
I didn't care that she felt that it was repulsive. Tracy wanted to throw me out. She didn't feel that I was the man she married anymore.
I feel upset, I'm hurt, I feel betrayed, I'm angry.
I've known Essence for over a year now. Essence is, to me, the girl that I've always wanted. She treats me like I've never been treated. I just feel like a man when I'm around her. This gives me a lot of affection. It's an all-around good feeling that I haven't had in so long.
When I think about the relationship they're having, it's disgusting to me. It's upsetting. I can't understand it.
If Tracy had only given me more attention and communicated with me more, this probably would have never happened.
Okay. Well, I'm glad to meet y'all, but I'm sorry that you're in conflict here in the marriage. You just heard for the first time him say what?
He just said that that's the person that he's always wanted. That's the kind of person that he's always wanted.
Have you been lying to her?
Yes, I have.
You've been lying by omission, as well as telling her things that, affirmatively telling her things that weren't true.
That's correct.
Do you love this woman?
Yes, I do. But I'm just not in love with her like I used to be.
Were you in love with her when you married her?
Yes, I was.
Were you romantically in love with her when you married her?
Very much so.
So you wanted to be with her, you wanted to marry her?
That was it. She was the one.
Why have you lied to her all this time? If this was the way you felt, if you wanted something different, why have you lied to her? Why not just tell her?
Because I didn't want to see her hurt. I didn't want to see her hurt.
Well, how long have y'all been together?
24 years. So we'll be
years.
married 23 years.
24 years. If you have kept her engaged in this relationship for 24 years under false pretenses, how is it that you don't want to hurt her? That's 24 years of her life she can't get back. That's 24 years of her life that she's been living a lie. I mean, How is that protecting her?
This just didn't all come up. I mean, it just came up about 5 years ago. Before that, I had no reason to look outside of the marriage.
So what happened 5 years ago that you said, okay, I've got to turn away from my partner and go somewhere else?
No attention, no communication, and I tried to explain it to her over and over, and she just kept pushing me away.
So this is her fault?
Primarily, yes.
Really?
Yes.
It's her fault that you went outside the marriage?
That's correct.
Tell me how that works.
How many times have I told you enough or I'm going to seek out?
He did tell me that. It's true. He did say that. But I also shut down because what were you doing? You know, you were spending time with other people, taking time away from the family. He started working out. He lost a lot of weight. He started to socialize more. He started taking time to work out with other women. We would be out together at a casual lunch, and he'd be talking to them, joking on the phone. You know, so all this, it's such a buildup of emotion and things that had occurred. I just started to shut down because I felt like he was spending all this time and giving all this attention to other people, not to mention all the times that you were sitting on computers, talking to people that you shouldn't have been talking to. I would find pictures of men's body parts, and he'd say, I'm just open sexually. I'm just looking at this stuff. There's nothing to it.
But I've never found a reason to look outside of the marriage for some of my interests because I was perfectly content at home.
But you weren't, if you were going to porn stores all the time, you weren't content
When did
at
I
home.
start going to porn stores? When did I start? When the problem started. When the problem started, I started seeking out more. Simply. I felt at that time that's what I wanted to do, to make me feel content.
So you have no remorse at all. This is her fault.
Well,
you said yes,
I'm sorry for what I've done, but I wouldn't have went outside of the marriage if I was being satisfied at home. Not only sexually, but emotionally. She told me she hated me.
Yeah, because you weren't satisfying me emotionally.
She told me she hated me. She told me repetitively that she didn't love me. That go get a girlfriend. I don't want to touch you. That's it.
And leave. Not get a girlfriend and stay. And I'm doing your laundry and I'm paying bills and you're taking my money to take them out. Because they don't work for a living, and I'm responsible, and I'm working.
Do you understand?
And I'm taking care of kids. So my son is home every night asking where you are, and how do I explain what you're doing? You withdrew from all of us. Why do you think I don't like and respect this woman? It's not because of what they are, it's what they did.
No, I don't believe that. I don't believe it's just what they did.
You spent all day long, every night with them, every weekend you would leave. I'm sitting home taking care of 3 kids.
What would happen if I went home? What would happen? What would happen?
Because I already knew
we would
what
argue.
was going on.
I don't want to argue anymore.
I'm reactive when I know he sits and talks to them on the phone in front of me. What do you expect me to do? I'm supposed to just be okay with that? It's so much disrespect on so many different levels that you could do that right in front of me.
You know what?
I'm not. Okay.
I shouldn't say. I'm not.
And then you said I allowed this, so I'm just supposed to sit there.
How many times have I made passes at you sexually? And what did you do? Don't touch me. Leave me alone. For a whole year, you did that.
Yeah, because I was also.
That made me feel like something was wrong with me. There's nothing wrong with me. I didn't think anything was wrong with me.
I still think something's wrong with you.
Well, now you do.
Well, how do you feel about... I'm curious how you feel about the fact that he says this is your fault that he's gone outside the marriage.
Right.
He said that, and you just kind of like, well, whatever.
Because I have so many mixed emotions. I know that I did do some of those things. But there's reasons for everything, like Doug said. Between him looking and watching porn all the time.
That's only because.
If you're satisfied, why are you looking at all of that stuff? So,
honestly, one of the issues with me is I have a strong drive. And
I think they have an addiction
one of the
to it.
things. No, it's not an addiction.
Well,
Yes,
he
he
says
admitted
this
that
is
he's had
what,
one.
he says this is your fault. Number one, he says he's in love with Essence more than he is with you.
Yeah, I think that's evident, even though he's been lying
your
every
fault.
day.
He says that he has had sex with at least 22 men, married men,
Oh my God.
2 women, and 1 transgender person. True?
That's true.
That's disgusting. I didn't know that.
Well, you're learning it now. That's your fault.
No, I knew he was meeting men because he had emails on there, and it'll say, I don't know all the little lingo on Craigslist because obviously I don't troll Craigslist, okay? I think I'm classier than that. But they would say, I'm looking for, I'm looking for bottom or top or this or that, and you can kind of figure that out after a while. So I would
Well,
go
now,
on
come
his
on,
internet.
Susie Q. Did you think they were arm wrestling?
No, I know better than that. My point is, he would start lying about it. He's like, oh, well, I'm just talking to people. I'm not meeting people. And you want to try to believe somebody that you've had such...
The reason I did what I did as far as the lying goes is because I didn't want to disrupt the children or the home or anything. I was trying. I understand that.
You have.
I understand that. I didn't want the kids to know what was going on. I didn't want to see... I didn't want them to see us fighting. I didn't want them to see us break up. I didn't want to hurt them, so I tried to hide it as much as I could.
But
I
he
couldn't
didn't
hold
hide it. He would ask my children to drive them around. He's been in grocery stores with this person, in malls with this person, out to dinner,
The only reason why I
out
did
to
that-
movies. You put
Right.
it all over
Right.
the place, but yet you're embarrassed by it.
No,
You
now
brought
I'm not.
it in front
now
of
I'm
my...
not,
Yeah.
because there's feelings involved now.
Well,
now
good.
I
I'm
brought her
glad.
out because I want to bring her out because I thought you and I were pretty much done.
Well,
Because
we
how
are
many
now.
times
We are now.
have you told me? How many times?
Well, listen, you talk about this from the shock factor as this is a transgender person, but let me tell you, I am not the least bit concerned with who you're cheating with.
Right.
I am concerned with the fact that you are cheating.
Right.
And you're blaming her for that, and that is a ridiculous assertion. Look, were you guys having trouble within the marriage? Sure. There are problems that rise to a marriage level, and then there are problems that rise to an infidelity level. Those are 2 very different things. If y'all weren't communicating, if you were being put off by him, but that's not what's going on here. Coming up, Doug reveals the secret that he's been holding for 23 years from Tracy. You want her to know the truth, right?
Oh, yeah.
Because there are things, obviously, he hasn't told you that he's told
Right.
us. So I want to get it out on the table. He says he has had sex at home while you were at work.
You're a piece of I had a feeling about that. You know what? I need to get the hell out of my
Okay.
house.
All right, hold on.
You're a real piece of
That offends you, that he is...
Of course it does.
Who have you taken to your home? Have you taken Essence to your home?
A couple of times,
Well,
yeah.
yeah, that's
Have-
because she doesn't have a home.
Have you had sex in your marriage bed with Essence?
No.
He says that he has had sex with men in gay sex clubs
Oh, sure, I'm sure.
and gone to their homes. Do you have safe sex?
Yes, I do.
Okay.
And I'll tell you the reason why it was male mostly is because I didn't want a connection. I just wanted the sexual satisfaction, and that's it. Go home. No connection. Now, I've met women in the past that I've communicated with, and what did they want to do? They wanted to come further with me. They wanted to fall in love with me. They wanted my phone number. They wanted to know where I lived. I had one girl that was going to go to my house. I don't want that.
So this is basically what's referred to as doing this on the down low. You've kept your family, you've kept your wife, all of that, and then you've gone out and done this on the down low.
It was more of a sexual satisfaction at the time.
Okay, and you have said that you are not satisfied by her. Is this because you two have not had contact in a year? Is that what you mean?
No, we have contact now. If we
Not
had it
any longer.
If we had it
No, I'm not. I
If we
refuse to touch
had
you
the
anymore.
contact years ago, this would have probably never happened. I've actually had women say to me, "What is wrong with your wife? You're a nice person. You're a nice guy."
Oh my God!
Yeah.
They don't live
Plenty
in
of
our
them.
house.
Plenty
They
of
have
them.
no idea, Doug. They cannot comment on that. They have no idea.
You're right. They don't live in a house, and they don't know what you've put me through.
All right, let's take a break. We're going to find out why Doug is so infatuated with his new girlfriend. We'll be right back.
It's very upsetting to know that he's in love with a man.
When I first laid eyes on Essence, I just thought she was beautiful.
I never will understand it. I never will. I believe that there is a lot that I don't know.
When I first laid eyes on Essence, I just thought she was beautiful. Essence and I hit it off right away. She's just very attractive. She just looks like a model to me. She just glows. I feel like I've known her forever. I kind of wish I had met her a long time ago, even before I was married. I feel like we were meant for each other.
I have a hard time trying to figure out what he's attracted to. I don't understand what they can offer him.
She understands me, she respects me, we understand each other, and we just feel good together.
Everything's turned upside down. I can't trust him. I don't know what's going to happen tomorrow.
At this point, Essence is the whole package for me.
Well, today is an unusual love triangle. Statistically, it's unusual. That was Doug talking about his transgender girlfriend, Essence. He says that he's in love with her, but he also says that he loves his wife, Tracy, of 23 years. True?
It's correct. There's two different types of love, though. There's love and in love.
Mm-hmm. So you love her in the sense that she's the mother of your children.
That's correct.
You have a history with her.
That's correct.
But in terms of passionate or romantic love, you don't feel that for her, but you do feel that for Essence.
That's correct.
Now, Tracy says that this relationship makes her sick. She has no idea until recently that Doug was bisexual, correct?
That's correct.
All right, take a look at what she had to say about this.
It's very upsetting to know that he's in love with a man. He doesn't think of it that way. I just don't know how he could have been in love with me and treated me the way he did. He has been with me for such a long time and always been such a family and dedicated person, and always just told me how beautiful and how sexy I was. I never will understand it. I never will. I can't understand it. I believe there's a lot that he hasn't told me because maybe he doesn't want to hurt me, but I believe that there is a lot that I don't know.
He's been bisexual. This is an awareness he's had for a long time.
But he didn't share that with me. Had he shared that with me before we got married, I wouldn't be with him. I think I should have been able to make that choice.
Did you know this?
He did not do that.
When you got married?
Yes, I did.
Did you feel like you owed her an explanation?
I didn't feel it was necessary at the time because I didn't think I would act on it. I had no reason to. I really loved her for her. I had no interest in men back then at all. I mean, I had an encounter when I was about 13 years old, and that was that. It was over. And for all those years, it never came out until I felt I needed some type of attention, and I seemed to be getting it from that side, for more so than anything.
And you say the wheels came off about 5 years ago. Things started getting bad. You guys were clearly having a problem, right?
We were starting to, yes.
And you were saying she wasn't giving you any attention at all. And you said we were growing apart. So why in God's name did you have a child?
Well, honestly, because I was using birth control and I kept getting pregnant. And I just couldn't.
That's not the truth.
Continue.
I said the other children are growing up. We started going out on a motorcycle. That's how when we first met, we used to go riding on a motorcycle all the time. We were able to get our independence back because the other boys were pretty much on their own. They were old enough to watch themselves or whatever. And Tracy said, I want to have another baby before I'm too old. She wanted to have a girl. And
You
no,
always
you
wanted
said
to
that.
have more kids
You said
too,
that.
though.
And what
Don't
did I
just
say to you?
that.
What did I say to you? I said, I really don't think it's a good idea right now. And you says, with or without you, I want a baby. And I said, well, I'm not going to be tied down to the house all the time. I don't want to sit in the house for the next 15, 16 years or whatever doing nothing. I want to be able to get out and enjoy myself. And you said you wanted to have the baby, so you got pregnant.
We've got to take a break. But when we come back, you're going to meet Essence, and you're going to hear what she has to say to Tracy and Doug. This is the transgender person that Doug is passionately in love with. We'll be right back.
I love Tracy, but I'm not in love with Tracy like I am with Essence. I would rather spend more time with Essence right now because there's no pressure. I go home, I argue about the affair.
I just never imagined this would happen in my life.
Tracy can't call Essence by her name because she's so angry.
I just say them, that person, it, she, he, or them, anything but their name.
Tracy calls my girlfriend a thing.
I can't say her name. I don't want to see it. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear him saying it.
It makes me feel awful.
When I think about her, I feel annoyed. My heart starts pounding. My blood pressure goes up. I just feel that they're a true threat to my family.
Well, Tracy and Doug say their 23-year marriage is on the verge of ending because Doug has been having an affair with a transgender female. Now, Tracy says she can't even utter his girlfriend's name. Doug says he can't decide between his wife or his girlfriend. I think Tracy has heard some things today that have brought her a degree of clarity, but take a look at this.
Doug has told me he's in love with both of us. I told you many times that you need to make a decision because I'm not going to live like this any longer.
I'm just confused. I love Tracy, but I'm not in love with Tracy like I am with Essence.
Doug told me he has fallen in love with her. When I think about my husband being in love with, especially her, it destroys me. There's no comparison to what we have and what they could possibly have.
I would rather spend more time with Essence right now because there's no pressure. I go home, I argue about the affair. When I'm with Essence, I don't have to argue. It's just, I have a good time.
I just don't have words. It's hard to describe. I just never imagined this would happen in my life.
Well, when we talk about transgender, we're talking about someone whose sexual expression is different than that which they were assigned at birth. Now, in this case, we're talking about a transgender woman. Now, Tracy has agreed to talk to Essence today for the first time, and Essence is joining us on Polycom today. Essence, are you there?
I'm here.
Can you hear us okay?
Yes, I can.
Okay, good. So, Tracy, is there anything you want to say to Essence? Any question you want to ask? Anything that you would like to say to her?
Honestly, I don't know what I want to say now because he's already said that he's in love with them and he wants to be with them. So I guess they can find an apartment together.
Essence, what did you want to say?
You know what? I'm a nervous wreck, but it's a shame. It's a real shame.
How do you feel about the fact that you are involved with someone's husband here? You're interloping into a marriage.
In the beginning, it was difficult, but I don't know. It's something about Doug that I haven't found in any other man. You know, my relationships were abusive. I've been beat up. I've been raped. And Doug is the first man that, you know, I love him, you know?
Essence, do you believe that you two will be together long term?
I believe it.
I believe it. Do you have any remorse here that a family will break up if that comes to be the case, that you're with a woman's husband that stood and made a marriage vow and now you're with someone else's husband? Does that bother you at all?
No, not at all.
Essence didn't want a relationship with me in the beginning because of me being married. I brought her into this.
Well, it doesn't bother them now to break up a family?
Can I ever finish? This is one of the problems. I can never say anything. Let me voice my myself for a
Okay,
change.
let him
Just
talk. Go ahead.
finally, let's be honest about
I am
things.
being honest. That's why I'm here.
All right, let's go.
Essence did not want to be in a relationship with me in the beginning. Yes, we met, we kicked it off, we had a great time talking, communicating, laughing. She lifted me when I was down. She made me feel good, and the more I knew her, the feelings got stronger and stronger, and you know, I tried harder and harder to bring her in, because again, she did not want to be in a relationship with me because she was afraid that she was going to start feeling for me, and I would go back to my wife. And I brought her into it. So she feels the way she feels today because I allowed it.
What I really think when we come back. I just asked her if she had any remorse of breaking up a marriage, being involved with someone else's husband. She said no.
At first, she said, I can't. Let me think about it. Let me think about it. I'm not sure. I says, listen, I want more of you. I want more out of you. You make me feel good.
So you worked hard at it for 2 or 3 months.
I did, because I thought my relationship was over. I don't have a ring on my finger. Neither does she. Where are the rings?
What would have happened if you would have put that kind of effort into working on this relationship?
I tried. You know something? At the time, I was so desperate to get that attention, to have somebody there for me. At that point, it was male or female. I just wanted that attention. You know, I just didn't want to be alone. I wanted somebody to be there for me, with me, whatever, and do things with me. And this is why this relationship with Essence got so far.
Well, you have thought Doug was in a phase. What do you think now?
With this, everybody says to me, oh my God, you know, maybe it's a midlife crisis, maybe he's just struggling with this new identity all of a sudden. But you know what really bothers me? Now that he's finally being honest, 2 days ago, I mean, I have a load of text messages where he said, I'm not leaving. I love you. I'm not leaving. Why would you emotionally torment somebody like that? Why would you lie to me like that? Why would you do that?
Because you thought I was walking out immediately. I am not going anywhere at this point.
That's not what you're saying.
At this
you said
point.
that you were going to cut ties and you were going to stay home. You said it's all good. I'm not going anywhere.
I'm not. You thought I was
walking. Do you think you're
walking.
going to stay in my house and see that person? It doesn't work that way.
All right, hold on. We got to take a break. Doug clearly has some decisions to make, as do you. And we're going to get to that. Essence is with us. We'll talk to them all when we come back.
I consider myself bisexual. I've had those feelings since I was a teenager.
I don't think I would have ever married him had I known this.
I am interested in male and female, so the transgender really brought it together, and when I see someone like Essence, it turns me on.
Well, in today's show, we've been talking to Tracy and Doug and Doug's transgender girlfriend, Essence. Now, Doug says he's torn between these two people. He loves one, but is in love with the other. So, of course, the question that he has to face is who should he choose?
I just never expected this day to come where I had to make a decision.
Doug needs to make a choice. I've told him he needs to make a choice, and I prefer that he would do that soon.
If there was a way I could have both, I would do it. I can't keep going back and forth. I've been living 2 lives here.
What it's come down to is me or his girlfriend.
Part of me says, be the husband and father you're supposed to be. The other part says, follow your heart. Tracy wants us to be that husband, wife, children, perfect family, minus the bisexuality.
I don't feel like there's an easy answer.
In the end, someone's gonna get hurt.
The minute that I knew that I was losing him, it hit me, and I realized that I didn't want to. We raised these beautiful kids together. We went on vacations. We did everything together, and I just feel like it's just not my life anymore.
The last thing in this world I would want to do is hurt Tracy. I just don't know what to do.
Well, you feel like he betrayed you yesterday.
Absolutely.
How so?
By telling me he loves me we were intimate with each other. Why would you do that? And he said, because I asked for it.
You, Trace.
If you love somebody else, why would you do that? You're betraying them to them,
Trace,
right? Why would you do that?
I just don't want to argue. I do whatever it takes to not argue at this point.
We spent the day, we paid to go to Universal Studios. We're out here in this beautiful LA. We go and take our kids out because we never do anything as a family together. And the whole time he was talking to his girlfriend on the phone. The whole time. If you don't want argument, why would you do that? It's so disrespectful. This is what I can't deal with.
Essence, how do you feel about the fact that Doug was intimate with his wife yesterday?
She wants it, give it to her.
Unbelievable. If you love somebody, you would say that? That would hurt me. I can't believe that you'd be all right with that. If you supposedly love somebody.
You're married to him for 28 years. If you get a feeling.
23.
There you go.
Unbelievable.
I have no problem with it.
Okay, so I could see where your relationship's going. That's all right. You can have them at this point.
Do you have a home, Essence?
Yes, I have a home.
Do you have a career? Do you work?
I'm a housekeeper.
Okay. And is this...
You know what Essence has got more than anything?
Go ahead.
A personality. People don't see that right there. They don't see that right there. She has a heart of gold and a personality like no other that I've ever known. None. And every place that I've been with her, any place I've been with her, people say to me, she's the nicest person, she's so funny, she just lights up a room. You're only seeing this part. Okay. Nobody knows Essence.
Why, Doug? You know what he says, that I'm a right? Because I've been taking care of 3 babies, working. I'm supposed to digest all of this and what you're doing to me and still be a glow in the room. This person has no job, no bills whatsoever, okay? They get free money, free medical treatment on all of us taxpayers. So I think if I switched with them for one day, I think I would be pretty nice.
See, that's how much you know. You know too damn much about me, but you don't know me. You don't know me.
I don't want to, sweetheart. I don't want to.
Good. You ain't shut the hell up about me.
There you go. That's class. You just told me to shut the hell up. See?
Then shut the hell up about me.
Thank you. You're all seeing how classy this person is right now.
If you have such feelings for Essence, why have you not just gotten a divorce and gone to be with her?
Actually, it's coming to that point now. I thought before I decided on that, I would just see what happens, and it doesn't seem to be getting any better at home, and the relationship with Essence has actually gotten better.
Well, let me ask you two a question. And Essence, I'm going to talk about some family business here, so I'm going to thank you for joining us today and say goodbye to you at this point.
Bye-bye.
Okay, why, even before today, why are you waiting for him to decide what's going to happen in your life?
When I can answer that, I just felt like I wanted to give it one more chance for the kids. Well, really for the children's sake, because I didn't have a father growing up, and I'm sorry. What bothers me is having my son, who means the world to me, around that person. I don't want him exposed to that. And my husband has done that without me knowing, and it kills me. There's no reason my son has to be around that person. All these people just saw what kind of person they are.
They don't know her.
I'm going to weigh in here and tell you what I think, because I don't think people ought to ever come here and wonder what I thought about something. Now, for some people, the controlling factor here is that this is a transgender woman. To me, I could care less. Transgender woman, another woman, man, whatever. What matters to me is the fact that you are cheating on your wife, not once, not twice, not 10 times, not 20 times, but what we know about, you've said 23 men married, 2 women, and 1 transgender woman. Okay, now, for you to take your child and introduce them to one of your partners, one of your affairs, one of your infidelities is inappropriate. I don't care who it is. That is confusing to a child. That is inappropriate. You should not do that. And I'm not saying that because you don't like the fact that it's a transgender woman. I wouldn't care if it was Mary Poppins, okay? You shouldn't do that. That's not good for the child, and that's inappropriate. It should not be done. So I don't care how nice a person it is. Now, at this point, are you through with this marriage?
At this point, I would say yes at this point.
Are you through with this marriage?
Absolutely.
See, I believe in that if you're going to make a decision, you want all the data.
Absolutely.
And you've learned some things today you didn't know when you got here, right?
Absolutely.
And you've learned them because you were forthcoming with us about those things, which I thank you for. We asked him questions, and I'll give it to him. He has been honest, as far as I know, straight across the board. If he's lying, he chose some unusual things to include in the things he represents as truth. So you know that he has been cheating on you in a serial fashion. That may bother you that it was mostly men, some women, one transgender woman, but it really doesn't matter, does it?
No, it doesn't.
I mean, it takes a little time for you to wrap your head around, as you said. But whoever it is, he has been unfaithful to you, and what's more, blames you for it.
Right.
It's your fault that he's been with these 23 men, 2 women and 1 transgender woman, because you
All you
pushed
need
him
to do
away.
is throw a horse and a pig in there. I mean, really.
And I don't concur that it's your fault, because honestly, we have to make our own decisions. We make our own choices. And so when you make the choices, you've got to own them. Now you can say, because she did A, I did B. Well, she may do A, but then you could choose B, C, D, E. You could do any number of things. And you chose what you chose. If you're willing to accept that, you are a damn fool. At some point, you've got to say, you know what? I've got to get a backbone here. I got to stand up for myself. I understand you didn't have a father. I understand you don't want that for your children. But it is what it is. And, you know, I predict that this relationship he has with this transgender woman is ill-fated. I mean, relationships that are born in infidelity don't have a future statistically. They just don't. Now, he'll think he's the exception that proves the rule, but sometime in the near term, that's going to be gone, and he's likely to be back over there saying, you know, I'm sorry, I want to make amends, or maybe he'll go on to somebody else. You need to make a decision what you're going to do and not sit around waiting for him to tell you what's going to happen in your life.
Right.
And the last thing I'll say is if you two, in fact, are calling an end to this, and I call this instead of a marriage because what you've had certainly the last 5 years has not been any kind of marriage that I've ever encountered, you do need to responsibly create a new relationship as co-parents of this child.
Right.
Children are very, very perceptive, and they also have memories. And he will now, as he grows up, look back and realize, you know what? He took me around that woman when he was cheating on my mother with her. And that may not be a concept that he embraces now, but it can be a concept that he embraces down the road. It's a bad idea. You don't want to do, trust me, you don't want to do that. Okay, we'll follow this and see what happens. We'll be right back. Well, I want to thank Tracy, Doug, and Essence for being honest and sharing your story with us, because my goal when people come here is to get it all out on the table so you can make informed decisions. And I never consider it a victory If someone comes here and after 23 years, they make a decision to say this relationship is over. But I frankly think that decision was made long before you came here. And, you know, I never say never, but you cannot have a marriage if both partners are not willing to say, this is an exclusive relationship, it is just between us. And if you're not willing to make that commitment, then you have no commitment. And so you're going to have to think about it, pray about it, think about it, do whatever. But there is no way in God's earth that you should settle for what you now have, in my opinion. And you know that. You wouldn't if it was the other, she was on the other foot. You wouldn't do that. So for more information about this topic, go to drphil.com. Thanks for being here. So long.
Memories can kill ya, but I didn't hear ya. I thought that I could fly, but woke up on the asphalt. I swear there was still a storm. I've always been naive, call it